NXT was live tonight from Full Sail University. And you start the show with a recap of what happened last week with the OC. So it's the build-up to Survivor Series. We're getting Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT, so they have to build up NXT for this big show. You start the show off with a Cruiserweight title match. You have Lio Rush defending against Angel Garza. Good matchup here, I guess. 205 Live is dead. I think they should just cancel the show outright and probably just move it permanently. Remove the Cruiserweights just to NXT, and you have 2 hours, so you can feature more guys and the show will be better. But this was an enjoyable matchup here. They're pushing Lio Rush. I don't see him much. I don't see him as a babyface, but he retains the title. And I wanted to address this. ACH, I didn't even want to mention this, from NXT. He quit WWE today. Good riddance. He says they're racist. All right, bye ACH. Good riddance. But Lio Rush, who retained the Cruiserweight title, this was a good opener here. They show Tegan Nox and Rhea Ripley have been attacked. They are down as officials check on them. I've been thinking this. I think what's going to happen on at an NXT TakeOver is with Rhea Ripley, Dakota Kai is going to be the 4th member of team on Baszler's team, and she's going to turn on them, and she's furious with Rhea Ripley for kicking her out, basically. They show what happened with Shayna Baszler last couple of weeks with Becky and Bayley. And I didn't know this. I forgot the announcement, but you're going to have 2 War Games match at War Games. So you're going to get the women's match and the men's match. I don't think you'll get title matches because they're going to do a lot of matches at Survivor Series. You had Xia Li against Aaliyah. They're trying to push Xia Li top, I believe she's Chinese. They want to have a top female Chinese star. She kills Aaliyah. She busts her up after the match. Aaliyah was Vanessa Borne before the match. She accompanied her, but Xia Li with practically a squash match. And there's some blood after it. They have a video package for Killian Dane against Pete Dunne. Finn Balor makes his way to the ring. He says, "This is NXT now. What happens to this place in the business he loved? He used to be proud of the place, but now it's a joke." That was the heart of NXT. He rips into Johnny Gargano. And he's talking about how he are having sympathy for him for getting hurt. He says, "Don't make me start Matt Riddle." He wants someone to challenge him. Matt Riddle comes from behind and attacks Balor. Balor gets a kick. Riddle kicks Balor and they go to the floor. Riddle sends Balor into the guardrail. So Riddle says Balor can't run forever. And it looks like that's probably the match at TakeOver. The Undisputed Era make their way to the ring, and they circle Matt Riddle. Adam Cole says he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. Ciampa comes out, as does Keith Lee. Cole asks, "How stupid could you guys be? Did you see what they did on SmackDown? Do you see what they did on Raw? They are the most dominant force in all of WWE." Keith Lee says he doesn't give a damn. He tells Undisputed to get their asses to the ring. Keith says, "If you want to get in the ring, people will give you liberation. You beat up Daniel Bryan, and you didn't back down from Seth Rollins. Here's the thing, champ. The question is, right here, right now, are you going to stand up to him?" Roderick Strong tells Keith to shut his mouth, and it goes on for a while. Keith Lee puts a line, marks a line on the mat and says, "Fish," says, "Well, they crossed that line." Officials come out to keep things separated, so they're really setting this big matchup for War Games. You have a match of Keith Lee and Roderick Strong. They do a matchup here. They probably had a whole bunch of matches in Ring of Honor when they were both in that company at around the same time, I believe. But Keith Lee with the win. Good matchup here. I enjoyed it. Very good matchup here. Both guys are very talented. They went with Keith Lee. I agree. It made sense to give him the win. I don't like beating champs, but actually for this, it was fine to give the match victory to Keith Lee. Undisputed Era attack Lee, and then they attack Ciampa too. Then you have this is just crazy. You have Dijakovic make his way to the ring. He fights off the Undisputed Era, and he has a double chokeslam to Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Dominic hits the Feaster Eyes to Cole. Dominic tells Ciampa that he is in, and I guess he's part of the team now. I guess Johnny Gargano is not. I'm not sure. I forget the whole team. It's a bit surprising. So after the match, announcers talk about what happened at Undisputed War Games, and and what happened with Tommaso Ciampa, Finn Balor. So they were bringing a lot of stuff up. They go outside and we see Jessamine Duke, Marina Shafir is down, and they also see Candice LeRae is down. So someone's killing all of them. There's like an attacker destroying everyone. You had Isaiah Scott against Bronson Reed. Isaiah Scott wins. Nothing much here. After the match, they shake hands. We see Kathy Kelly. She's on the game balcony, and she mentions that the men and women are on high alert for what's happened tonight. She says that she does not know who is behind the attack. She mentions that Finn Balor will face Matt Riddle at War Games, and Dijakovic will be taking Matt Riddle's place in the War Games match, so he's a part of it. So it's him, Ciampa, I think, and Gargano, and Keith Lee with Riddle out. They show Pete Dunne getting ready for his match. They do a Forgotten Sons video, and then you have Killian Dane against Pete Dunne. They've been hyping this forever. They really wanted to get this done for a while. This was a good matchup for a while. And what you have is you have Damian Priest attacks them, attacks Killian Dane as he gets to the ring, and it sets up a triple threat, sets up a huge melee, all craziness. You have Dane and Dunn on the floor, and then you had Damian Priest hit the springboard planche onto them, so basically nothing happens. And they set up a triple threat match probably for War Games. Mia Yim is asked about her match with Io Shirai and the chaos that happened to her so far tonight. She's interviewed by Kathy Kelly, I believe, and she cut the promo. She's just not very good on the mic. So you have Dakota Kai enter the room and says there's no hard feelings. She says if anything happens tonight, she has Mia's back, so I expect her to turn heel. I think she's behind the attacks. So they officially announced Matt Riddle versus Finn Balor on War Games, but Ciampa needs a fourth member for his team. I don't know who it's going to be. Is Gargano not announced? I don't know. Next week, they announced Adam Cole against Donovan Dijakovic in the ladder match to determine the advantage in the men's War Games match. Now we have another ladder match, this main event, which is the main event of NXT, Io Shirai, Mia Yim, which team gets advantage in War Games. Good ladder match. I enjoy ladder matches a lot. Although it is overused in WWE right now, I've always been a big fan of the ladder match. So when you talk about War Games, you can't book a War Games match with heels not getting the upper advantage. The War Games, what it is it's two people start, and then one member from each team comes out. Eventually you have everyone in the ring, and then that's when you can have pinfalls or submissions, whatever. The problem with this doing it is you have to have a situation where you have a heel team and a face team, and the heel team always has to have the advantage over the face team. It makes absolutely no sense for the face team to have the advantage when the heels are supposed to get the heat. So the heels always get the upper advantage, and we knew who was going to win. Io Shirai and Mia was an okay ladder match. I enjoyed it for the most part. Mia is okay in the ring. Io Shirai is great, but she's not with a great worker. Women's ladder matches aren't usually the greatest. They're usually very conservative in WWE with the women in ladder matches. But here you have Io Shirai with the win, which is no surprise, and this gives her team the advantage at TakeOver War Games. So that was no surprise there, and that sets up the show. After the match, you had Bianca Belair. She joins Io Shirai and Kaylee in the ring, who's on the team now. Shayna makes her way to the ring, and Kaylee waves to her, and Shayna applauds what's going on in the ring. Bayley hit Shayna from behind with the chair, so Bayley with a snapmare drive onto the NXT title belt. She escaped before the other three can help her, so Bayley destroys Shayna Baszler, gets revenge on her, and Bayley was probably the one behind all the attacks. That would make sense, and that sets up NXT TakeOver War Games in a couple weeks. Heels get the advantage, and I thought NXT overall was a better show than AEW this week.